At this time, for the record show at 6:34, we'll open the meeting for the International Falls Economic Development Authority. And we were to meet jointly with the advisory board, but I don't see any board members here right now.
Mike, are you on the board?
Anybody in the audience that wanted to talk to us now? Mike, did you have anything you wanted to speak to us about it?
Kim asked me if I could attend. Fine spaces. I appreciate that.
And that was, if I could, Mr. President, there was some discussion at a couple meetings ago to have just an update with where things are at with Voyage Forward, and Mr. Welcome is, intimately involved with that, and so the idea was to have some exchange of information and just an update on the progress and where they're at. So that was part of the reason for inviting Mr. Welcome, and part of the reason was that we have this particular meeting scheduled is that there was a motion at the last meeting is to schedule a meeting and discuss with the members of the EDA Advisory Board how we go about replenishing their ranks, if you will. There's, I think, 5 members left, if I recall correctly, and they can have as many as 12 members. We had advertised some time ago, almost probably a year ago, and we just didn't get a lot of applicants. And the question is where do we go from here? And we're going to have a joint discussion with them. We did receive email response from 2 of the commissioners that said that they could not be here tonight. I'm not sure about the other 2 or 3.
I think it was important from us to hear from them, where they wanted to go, right, really, so far as us filling the vacancies and those kind of things, especially with the efforts that Voyage Forward has already done and what we're hoping is going to come out of our comprehensive plan. What makes sense to hold off filling those vacancies or not? We'd want to hear from them. Because hopefully with the comprehensive plan it'll give us a better idea which direction we're going to go and how we're going to get there. So everyone's fully aware of what Voyage Forward has done, and we appreciated Myrna and Jim being here from that particular Destiny driver. I know for me, I'd like to hear from all the other ones what kind of progress they're making and those kind of things.
All of the minutes are up on the website. We have a coalition. A copy of those to the city administrator. Progress being made. You probably heard about the business survey that was done by the workforce development team. That's complete. Record. Never ask open-ended questions on the survey. I have to tabulate and look at all, and I see Mr. Anderson. And that's what they're doing now. They have a 45-question survey. 93 businesses responded. Outstanding response. So, eyeballs, if you will. Reviewing all those comments, tabulating, analyzing them, to be done by June or so. And once that's done, the report's going to be submitted to EDA, and we believe that they're going to approach the chamber to actually present it to the community in Washington. Right. The rest of them, I can give you that paperwork and send it to the city.
That would be great, because I think it'd be good for him to have and for us to have when we sit down with our consultants for the comprehensive plan. I think it'd be good information for them.
Absolutely. I do watch the I did not capture anything that anybody was saying. I'm guilty of it. I know I am. I saw the red light go on. So I would ask that you speak up. But I do know there was a question from an audience member, I didn't catch who it was, and they asked about the financial health of Voyage Forward. Does pay for the website, pay for some other marketing tools that we're using. Okay, what you think? Maybe not that far. Maybe another year or two. Projects. We don't. That's up to the individual Destiny drivers.
Thanks, Mike. Any comments from any of the other council or EDA members? Go back to the agenda. Have the consent agenda. On that is our EDA minutes of February 21st. And what's your pleasure with that?
Well, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
Motion and a second to approve the minutes. Any discussion? All for this question, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion carried. And we'll move into item 4 on the agenda, the discussion of appointments for additional board members. Do the bylaws. Is that something we want to do now, or do we want to wait and make sure?
We dispense with item number 4 on the agenda.
Second?
Or, I'm sorry, dispense.
Table or dispense?
Dispense.
What?
Not do it.
Ever.
No. I mean, I think that, well, we don't have a second motion. I'm not going to speak.
Or second? Second. No second, the motion is denied.
I would move to table it to the next regular EDA meeting. Hopefully we can get some EDA advisory board members to come to this meeting.
Second to that.
Second.
Okay, motion on the floor to hold off until next meeting with the next EDA meeting, and hopefully have the advisory board members here.
Can I speak? I just think it's important to get the conversation from the people that have applied for this position, and we've in charge to be on the advisory board. And I realize that the ranks have gotten small, but I do feel that this is a conversation we need to have with them. If whatever decisions we decide to move forward, I think it's only fair to them to have that conversation.
I would have to agree with that. I would like to hear what their comments are so far as going forward. You know, they feel it's a waste of time that they're sitting there and we're not moving on anything or doing anything. I'd like to hear that from them so that we can make a decision whether we're going to carry on and get more members on there and actually do something. So,
President.
yes, sir.
The recommendation by the consultant that we had, Newmark, Grubb, and Frank, that we have one economic development organization for the city and county to work together, and I think we have that with the Kuching Economic Development Authority. I mean, I have no problem with keeping the International Falls Economic Development Authority, but I really don't see it being active. There may be an opportunity sometime, someplace, but right now I think we ought to, as an authority, meet once or twice a year just to determine that we've got still have an authority, but it not be an active one.
Cindy.
I think that we need to have the discussion, and it needs to be on an agenda, the next meeting. We need to evaluate our experience. We need to assess. We need to learn, and we need to share. So I don't want to disband it today. I think the mayor may be correct, but I think it's a little premature. And we need an opportunity. We put a lot of energy. I think Councilor Drobe is absolutely right. We put a lot of energy into this. We've had high hopes. I would like to be able to assess and reconnoiter before we move forward in any way.
Right, I would say that Commissioner Droba has probably more insight to what's really happened with that board than anyone, and I certainly wouldn't want to just drop it until I've had the opportunity to hear from them and see how they feel. There may be things that they want to take the ball and run with, so far as, maybe not running down to the cities trying to chase a manufacturer to come up here, but looking at our corridors and saying, hey, here's some opportunities for economic development in International Falls, because we have a lot of empty buildings along 53 and our other corridor coming in from 71, and they may have some insight or some ideas that could help move forward with that. So, and to me, that information sharing should not only we be looking for Voyage Forward to bring things to us, but if we have that board and their ideas, that we can maybe help some of the Destiny drivers moving forward, or give them a better idea of what we really want to see in the end.
Mr. President, if I can, I think too, we're getting the business survey, and as the advisory board may be very interested in reviewing that, I know I will be, and as well assimilating the Voyage Forward initiatives too. I think it's work we need to do.
My last point was just going to be this. I did sit with the advisory board for 2 years. I met pretty much every Tuesday morning that we met here, and in the last 6 months to maybe 9 months, the conversation when we had a quorum has been, how do we help International Falls' business community? That seemed to be a push, along with the strategic action plan, is something that they were very interested in moving forward with. But I think the downtown business corridor seemed to be something that really struck a chord with the advisory board, and that's a conversation I think we need to have with them. And if they can run with that, if there's something we can do to empower them to do that, or work with KEDA, or work with Voyage Forward, or however we can get citizens that want to be involved, I think is only a bonus. So I do know that the few people we have left, I realize we only have 5 people left that are on that board, but they are business owners in our community, and they want to do something. They want to help International Falls. So I think we owe them that conversation.
It was about 3 people that started the Bacchus thing, so 5 good people. It's a lot of people.
Right. Any other discussion on that?
Mr. President, then our next regular meeting would be the March 20th meeting. Is that when you would envision inviting them again after the council meeting to do that?
I'll be out of town on the 20th, but if the rest of the council, would you chair the meeting?
Yep.
Okay. But I think it should happen. But we'll call the question. All those in favor signify by the sign.
What was the question?
That we're going to meet with them.
All right.
Okay. Sorry.
This is, the item 4 is being tabled to March the 20th.
Yeah.
Very good. All in favor signify by the sign.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Anything else from the audience before we adjourn? Anything from anyone else on the board? If not, adjourned.